Okay, so we're going to dive right in. So, to start, we would like to introduce Eagleview and our new local team that supports LA County. Next slide. Okay, so my name is Arjun. I'm a district manager at Eagleview, and prior to joining Eagleview, I actually spent 5 years in the industrial automation industry. I'm a local business graduate from Cal State Fullerton, and I live locally here in Corona, California. Brianna Zumhoff is our technical manager. Brianna has a master's in geography from the University of Iowa, and prior to joining Eagleview, she was a GIS specialist for a civil engineering firm. Brianna has a strong technical GIS background, and she'll be a resource for LARIAC. As a team, we're dedicated to supporting LARIAC and all of its members. So next, I would like to share more about the strong partnership between our two organizations. LARIAC and Eagleview started working together in 2008. Since then, we've completed 5 LARIAC projects, some of which include multiple captures, and we are starting our 6th in early 2023. From the start of the partnership, Eagleview and LARIAC have had the common goal of helping as many consortium members like yourselves get valuable geospatial data and aerial imagery. Our solutions allow GIS professionals, tax assessors, public safety, public works get faster, more informed decisions. Currently, there are about 50 consortium groups that are utilizing the LARIAC imagery today. Okay, and so next I'm going to provide a quick update on Eagleview and what we do as a company. So Eagleview, which is also known as Pictometry, is an aerial imagery company that was founded 23 years ago. The company pioneered intelligent oblique and ortho imagery. Some of the many industries we support are government, construction, solar, insurance, and utilities. Eagleview has about 1,000+ employees spread out throughout the world. Eagleview has a host of high-value products and solutions, and I'll briefly touch on a high level on some of those. So Eagleview has a flagship cloud-hosted web-based software called Connect Explorer. It works on desktop and mobile applications, and Connect Explorer really allows you to analyze parcels, buildings, land details with many viewing and measurement tools. We also have high-resolution 1-inch GSD capabilities. Our detailed oblique imagery allows appraisers to cover more ground faster, increase accuracy, assess difficult to access properties, as well as defend values. We also have change detection solutions. These allow assessors and appraisers to identify property changes, such as new construction, additions, and demolitions without leaving your desk. This is a huge time saver to really save on costly field inspections. Eagleview also has assessor sketch verification solutions, tools that can feed CAMA-based sketched files into our software, and we can flag discrepancies between current parcels and original sketches. Along with that, we have 3D Mesh. It's a very interesting tool, and we're going to be going into more detail on that shortly in our demonstration. And lastly, we have a host of API web integrations that allow you to build our solutions into your websites or third-party dashboards. If we don't have it currently, we have a team that can help build it. Next slide. And overall, Eagleview is an industry leader. We have been able to grow substantially over the past 20 years. Some great facts about Eagleview are listed here. Eagleview partners with many of the counties across the country, and we've flown a majority of the US population. We also make a camera assembly that is unique and proprietary. We refer to our camera systems as the Penta and Pacific platforms. As a company, we also believe in strong and fast support for our customers with a large direct sales and service team. We also have many former government employees that have joined Eagleview, and this has allowed us to understand many of the needs within the government space. As a great fact, our partnership with LARIAC throughout the years has allowed us as a company to adapt, update, and improve our solutions and software, which has ultimately helped us become a better, stronger company. Up next, we have Brianna, our technical manager, and she'll be sharing more about our 3D Mesh, interesting potential use cases, as well as our infrared technology.
All right, thank you, Arjun. And as I present here, I am going to stop my video if you don't mind, just with the hopes that it will maximize the video quality and prevent any potential lagging or delays with Zoom, but bear with me if that should occur. So this is a 3D mesh, and we're going to be taking you through a short demonstration just to show you some capabilities that are useful to government departments, with our focus today on use case examples for planning and development and public safety. The City of Los Angeles has recently acquired a 7 square mile 3D mesh of downtown from us and our partners at Skyline Software, using the most recent LYRIAC imagery capture from this past summer. And as we fly through this downtown cityscape, some of you may be asking, what exactly is 3D mesh? For the more technically inclined, 3D mesh is an imagery-derived, photo-textured, three-dimensional dataset in the form of a triangulated irregular network, or a TIN. Or in other words, it is simply a digital means to represent a surface using X, Y, and Z values. 3D mesh is commonly thought of as a purely visual tool, but its capabilities go far beyond a new way to see environments. It is a cost-effective and highly efficient solution to accurately measure distance, area, volume, and analyze sightlines, shadow analysis, contours and slopes, flood visualizations, and even underground utilities. Our first example, we're going to be highlighting some use cases for public works and city development, highlighting 5 new buildings within the South Park neighborhood that are currently proposed or in development along West 11th Street and West Olympic Boulevard. These buildings range from 43 to 70 stories, and as a city planner, you may be interested to see how these new structures impact the surrounding neighborhood. We'll be looking at pre-construction and post-construction impact using shadow analysis and line of sight tools. To visualize these developments, the blocks will first need to be filled and flattened by modifying the terrain, and notice that the orange outlined area was already under construction when this imagery was captured. Next, we add in the hypothetical buildings as 3D objects, where each one is true to scale of the actual proposed height. And as you can probably imagine, these tall structures will have some impact on shadows within the neighborhood. With 3D mesh, pre-construction and post-construction shadow analysis can be done very easily. The pre-construction analysis for this block is symbolized mostly by green and yellow dots that indicate the building receives a high percentage of direct sunlight in its current state. And then once we add in our new buildings, we can see how the shadows change for this particular block. Now you can see the areas of orange and red dots where they experience nearly 0 direct sunlight throughout the day. This is particularly evident on the sides of the buildings. This analysis can provide key insight to decision makers and to determine the impact on existing structures for areas with new development. Next, we will see how line of sight from an existing structure is impacted by these new buildings. The Hollywood sign is a well-known and iconic symbol of Los Angeles, and being able to see it from downtown can provide significant selling power. From this existing building, you can see the Hollywood sign off in the distance. Using a line of sight tool, one can quickly and easily understand that the sign can be seen from this vantage point. And then once we add in our new developments, it becomes very obvious that the line of sight from that building is blocked at multiple angles. For city planners and developers, line of sight and shadow analysis can provide valuable insight into how new developments can alter the surrounding landscape, impact neighboring real estate. Next, we will be moving on to a couple public safety examples. Imagine the LA Lakers have a good season this year and win the 2023 NBA championship, complete with a parade through downtown and a ring ceremony. For public safety officials, this creates questions of traffic logistics, viewshed extents, and where to situate assets. If the ring ceremony is in front of the convention center, we can create a viewshed dome of this area and show where to place assets. The white lines show the area that is visible from this given point on the terrain within a 360-degree horizontal field of view, and the red ring defines the outer boundaries that are visible from the viewpoint and highlights obstructions. From this next angle, you can see sightlines along the building to the left of the parking lot and that the lower levels are blocked by trees from the street level. The sightlines indicate where the views are unobstructed, so assets would want to be situated where the sightlines intersect those windows of that building. And once the ring ceremony concludes, the parade will kick off outside the arena and go through downtown. This equally presents the question of viewshed, but adds the complexity of moving vehicles. Using the viewshed tool along a route, we can follow a car or a parade floats as it moves along and see the field of view highlighted in green and where the view would be blocked highlighted in red. With the viewshed analysis on a route, parade planners can see the maximum viewshed along a route and use this information to set up barriers, entrances and exits, viewer stands, and station officials strategically, ensuring the parade, the safety of the parade participants and attendees. And as we follow the parade route through downtown, I would like to take the time to thank Los Angeles County for allowing Eagleview to present at the 15th Annual GIS Day, and for the City of Los Angeles to let us show their new downtown 3D mesh layer. And whether you are involved in public works, planning and zoning, GIS, asset management, inspection, construction, or even tax assessment, there are several solutions that 3D mesh can provide to your department. And lastly, while we were putting this presentation together, we did notice several buildings with wall art in the mesh, and we thought the murals were pretty fun. So we thought it would be interesting to show you some of these today and highlight another creative way of using 3D mesh in the form of a virtual mural walk that could be published online. This could spark more creative community engagement and within the downtown neighborhood and inspire more cultural initiatives that contribute to community development. And as this wraps up, I would like to introduce our next and last topic that we wanted to quickly highlight in our last couple minutes, which is near infrared or NIR imagery that we have captured for Los Angeles County in the past couple of years. Hopefully that wasn't too bad without the video, and we will close this out. Transition over to ArcPro. So this imagery you see here for the county is from our winter 2020 capture. And it is clear that this imagery is different from traditional imagery. Traditional imagery only utilizes red, green, and blue spectrums. However, we used multispectral cameras to capture the infrared spectrum, which is just outside of visible light and beyond what the human eye can see. The blue hues indicate a non-vegetative impervious surface like houses, roads, sidewalks, and even astroturf. And anything that is red hued is vegetation. The deeper the red, the healthier, greener, and higher chlorophyll count of that vegetation. Infrared imagery can serve several purposes, and chief among them is for visual identification of vegetation presence and its health and impervious surface. For example, if I were interested in finding the percentage of impervious surface of this particular area, to start, I could go to the analysis tab, take a raster function, and create an NDVI out of it. I've already pre-populated this NDVI here for Santa Monica, and this is a normalized difference vegetation index. As this example, the layer ranges from -1 to 1 in value, where anything over 0 is considered vegetation, and anything under 0 or negative value is classified as impervious surface. For instance, you can see the playground here, that would be denoted by negative values, and then the park next to it is vegetation, so it'd be positive values. So if you were to take this NDVI layer, you can process it further, and you can further segment these values out and classify those segments. And from that, you can calculate impervious surface quantities and even create planimetric layers out of it. NIR imagery can also be used for wetland delineation, assessing crop health and crop quantities, understanding in areas that have excess vegetation and pose a wildfire risk, and also calculate stormwater runoff from impervious surfaces. So if you are interested in utilizing this imagery, LARIAC participating members have this data available to them to use from the consortium. And with that, that wraps up our demonstrations. Arjun has a final word before we transition to questions. Thank you for your time.
Excellent. Thanks, Brianna. So in closing, the partnership between Lariac and Eagleview is a strong one that we very much value. We hope that you enjoyed this session and that it may bring some good value to your everyday work. If there are any questions about how you can gain access to Connect software, or if you're interested in utilizing any of these solutions and tools, please reach out to myself, Brianna, Steve, or An, and we would be happy to help. Thanks so much.